will not back down. We've seen war.
Continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. We're going to do things to Nigeria that Nigeria is not going to be happy about and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns are blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible, horrible atrocities. I'm hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians.
Hello, my friend. Be trying to do now is to do a sort of damage control, but it is vertically too late. You're not going to blame this thing on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody should blame Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for this global attention Nigeria is getting over the killings of Christians to an extent, that is being tagged Christian genocide. So there's a simple disagreement between the government of Nigeria, the people of Nigeria, and the international communities and the world leaders and the world powers. So Nigeria can have not been able to come out and definitely prove a certain point, that what the United States of America is talking about Christian genocide in Nigeria is not correct. Every form of defense they wanted to put up, have crashed and have failed, woefully. So the president of Nigeria now is on a point of, trying to do a sort of damage control, trying to organize, mobilize the southern part of the country, to a one political structure, why the North is maintaining and laying ambush of what is going to happen at the end of the day. So it might lead to total breakup at the end of the day, where there may not be any possible solution anymore, because the intervention of foreign powers would dismantle anything that has to do with sovereignty of Nigeria, and also we erode the presidential powers given to Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, who has not been able to tame or to curtail or possibly stop the killing that's associated to jihadists, banditry, Boko Haram, and name them, all manner of things that is going on now. So it is a very clear fact that definitely the Nigerian government will not be able to meet the 2 weeks ultimatum given by the United States of America to make sure that everything is rounded up and there is internal security and improvement in terms of human rights and all violations. And secondly, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be automatically released, either hook or crook. They don't want to know how the government want to do that, because every findings and facts points to the direction that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not being tried based on law. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being tried based on his vocal and exposure of atrocities and criminality carried out in Nigeria by a system that does not understand what it means to be a nation and to provide leadership to that extent. So and you can see the atmosphere, the trajectory is heading towards that side of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. People, Nigerians are celebrating him in all ramifications. He has become a hero, and this national consciousness about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's freedom now is going to play out on whatever decision, judgment that the government of Nigeria is going to pass on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So what it definitely means that there are different departments. I think United States Department of War has already readied action and in that regard. So what we are seeing is gradual deployment of the Marine U.S. forces in Nigeria, gradual deployment of the U.S. SEAL, gradual deployment of the U.S. artillery, gradual military surveillance on all the targets they need to do. But once there's any strike and there's any reaction, either by omission or commission, by any forces, whether be it ISIS, whether be it the military or police or whatever, it will lead to a certain decision that okay, at this point in time now, this is the boundary and these are no-go areas, and that is what the Nigerian government is actually afraid of. Nigerian government should not be afraid of Nigerian breakup, because we have gotten to the point of no return, where the international community and powerful nations are beginning to intervene on the issue that has to do with Nigerian sovereignty and unity. Then it becomes a serious concern for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately, it is going to happen under Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, and to an extent, he has not actually been able to galvanize a massive push to make sure that some of these security challenges are nipped out of the system completely. So the United States of America is angry, and they are looking at options. Like they said very clearly, Mario said it very clearly, I think the chief of staff to Donald Trump, that they are looking at full options, and they are giving Donald Trump full options. Those full options is that in case this one fail, this one would not actually.
But a lot of people are saying this. The American military in Nigeria, and they're ready to strike. But do you not think that when they strike, the Muslim DRGs there in the north might attack other regions, the other tribes there in the northern part of Nigeria?
Yes. So that is the fear. But with NATO forces, United Nations forces, and other ECOWAS and AU are going to be mobilized in that direction, including Sahel nations forces are going to be mobilized in that direction. There will be peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and that is why they fear that the United States of America will have their military base here in Nigeria to supervise. That military base in Nigeria is going to supervise the disintegration, peaceful disintegration of Nigeria, and the Nigerian government needs to understand that that this is not a matter of sovereignty. If it's a matter of sovereignty, we have seen also Nigeria violating international treaties and sovereignty of so many nations, like the one we witnessed in Kenya, where they invaded Kenya and kidnapped a British Nigerian citizen, Nnamdi Kanu. So that is also a pointer that if Nigeria can do that, and of course United States can do that, and it's one of the United States international policies to take down any terrorist organization anywhere in the world, irrespective whether you are a sovereign nation or not. It is a policy of the United States of America. After what happened at the World Trade Center, where a plane flew into the two tallest buildings in the world, and that was how America arrived at that international policy. So America have every right. In fact, if there's no other place, see, that's what we need currently. Now we need it definitely. This is not. I don't want to see a situation that a process will be set on ground, and you see Nigeria will happen to that process. You know what I mean? By compromising the process and also compromising or trying to make the United States government to have another direction or reserve the right of that invasion. Currently now, 37 US lawmakers are already endorsing disintegration of Nigeria. No, but the fact is that, are they saying that the southern part of Nigeria, including the Yorubas themselves, will be named Biafra, and the other part, whatever it is? Because once that is happened, the entire circle of the Middle Belt is definitely going to be empty, and because we are going to see more of them, leaving that hemisphere, northern hemisphere, and heading to where their faith and their religious culture and tradition will be protected. And they are seeing Biafra as the only nation, as the only country, sovereignty that can protect, and allow them to consolidate and have existence with Biafrans at the end of the day. And over time, Biafra has not been proven to be, extremist to any extent in all ramification. So it is a welcome development, but how the world is going to navigate the issue of, some part of tribes, race who are in the north, who are majorly Christians, the Middle Belt factor and other, flooding into Biafran land as a Christian nation where they feel that they can be saved and live a liberal life than to stay in a conservative environment where restriction will be done to them because of religion and faith.
Okay, but the moment the American army strikes in Nigeria, do you think that finally our national sovereignty have been, has been vocal?
Let me just tell you very clearly, if the Nigeria is a sovereign nation, so to say, wouldn't have gotten to a point that the international community and the international powerful nation are seeking invasion. That invasion is to protect humanity. That invasion is to protect existence. That invasion is to protect, the weak at the end of the day, and that is what America actually, stands for. So it depends on how Nigerian government is going to cooperate with the United States government in that regard, by not trying to create any form of resistance, because any form of resistance, will trigger, Biafran flag, flying in the entire southern part of the country.
Okay, but international Amnesty International are petitioning the ICC. They said what? They said Nnamdi Kanu's case has overstayed too long, and at the same time, they said from their own personal finding that the Muslim jihadis are the one causing mayhem in the southeastern part of Nigeria. That Nnamdi Kanu is not the one causing this mayhem. Do you think that the ICC have what it takes to finally do the needful?
I think that's what actually is going to play out in Finland any moment from now, because we are hearing that the Finnish government are trying to reverse whatever judgment that have been passed on Simon Ekpa based on the current happenings and findings at the moment. So if this kind of actions and judgment and statement is coming from the International Criminal Court, are trying to say clearly the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not culpable, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any crime and known to law, and there's no reason why he should be held in the DSS custody up to this moment. So it justifies that the situation on ground now, that Nigeria need this kind of intervention and solution, because of what is happening. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not just start up anything. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a product, of illegality and criminality and killings, and of marginalization and oppression that's happening in Nigeria. He is a product of that, and that is what the world is looking at him, as the symbol of Christianhood, Christianity, a Christian kingdom in Nigeria. So everything that's happening within, whether ICC is trying to call the attention of the Nigerian government that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not guilty of anything, and that now that the Finland government is trying to revoke, whatever judgment they have passed on Simon Ekpa, maybe based on a kind of manipulation or thereafter, shows that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the right cause, and of course Simon Ekpa is also in the right cause, because all of them are seeking resistance over killings that is happening in Nigeria currently now. So you can see the ICC coming from that angle. So it definitely is going to take a lot of heads at the end of the day, because people you think that will not be involved at the end of the day, when the whole thing is down, might be invited and face ICC over the atrocities that has been going on in Nigeria. Especially now, even the jihadists themselves are saying that Nigerian government are the one sponsoring them. So it's a very big one, and a very big slap on the Nigerian government. Yes, in connection to that, in that regard, we want to see a United Nations, we want to see ISIS, we want to see United States government, Canadian government, Italian government, Australia, Canada, Germany, Japan, so many countries now, including China also, are looking at, how they are going to separate Nigeria. And of course, everyone should go to his respective interests at the end of the day. But I can tell you, the invasion of the US military will lead to total disintegration of Nigeria.